This video is brought to you by the good folks at KEH. Not only is KEH the oldest and biggest at what they do, buying and selling exclusively used camera gear of all sorts since 1979, but they do it well, with integrity and both a 180-day warranty and 21-day return policy, free shipping on orders of $75 or more. Which is why, because they make it as futz-free a process as possible, they are our go-to whenever we are looking to fund new purchases by selling our own gear or buying that special used piece of kit properly graded and checked when we want to go quirky or old school. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. At $7,000, the Leica SL2 is one of the greatest cameras ever made. I ought to know. I own one, and it has been my daily driver for my personal street work since it came out in 2019. But what if I told you that you could get one today for less than $2,000 and it hadn't fallen off the back of a truck? Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for 3 Blind Men and an Elephant, and I'll just cut to the chase. Although some of you, no doubt, have already figured out how this particular opportunity is possible. Because, of course, we can't be talking about a brand new one. We can't even be talking about a legitimate used one either, because they're going for a touch over $4,000 right now in excellent plus condition over at KEH, for example. The key to picking up a Leica SL2 for $2,000, well under $2,000 actually, is to reconceptualize what a Leica SL2 is, and decide which particular attributes about the SL2 are most important to you. And that is because when the L-Mount Alliance was announced at Photokina in 2018, I remember it well, we were there. This is it. This is the single most interesting camera in all of Photokina 2018. To me, anyway. As always, your mileage may vary. It is the Panasonic S1R. It was a harbinger of things to come a little more than a year and a half later when Leica announced the 47.5 megapixel full-frame Leica SL2 and Panasonic announced its kissing cousin, the 47.5 megapixel full-frame Panasonic Lumix S1R, which in turn is where your opportunity lies. As I'm recording this, you can pick up a like-new minus S1R over at KEH for $1,750, an Excellent Plus copy. And in my experience, Excellent Plus from KEH is pretty much like new as well, for $1,699. At launch, the S1R was arguably the most thoughtfully designed, ergonomically sound, functionally rich, bulletproof built, weather-sealed, high-resolution, full-frame mirrorless camera in the market. These attributes considered in toto, the S1R simply blew away Nikon's Z6 and Z7, Canon's EOS R, Sony's 61-megapixel A7R4 announced practically the same day, even in some ways, okay, I'm just going to say it, the Leica SL2 itself. Although the SL2's build quality, industrial design, heritage, menu system, and my own relationship, frankly, to the Leica brand led me instead to the SL2, and which to this day remains my favorite purchase of all time. Chief among the S1R's feature set that the SL2 didn't have, from where I sit, is an articulating rear screen, a shutter release second to none, and most importantly, a constant, real-time depth of field preview that no other company has yet matched. And while some people continue to sniff at its low-light performance, I beg to differ. In fact, even today, 5 years later, DxOMark ranks the S1R's sensor above every other full-frame sensor they've tested, save for Leica's full-frame 60-megapixel M11, in turn bested only by 2 medium-format camera sensors, those found in the Hasselblad X1D50C and the Pentax 645Z. So, what's the catch? Here's the catch. 1. 2 and 3, actually. The autofocus system was, and remains even today, the last firmware update was in 2021, contrast detect with depth from defocus only, nary a phase detection pixel to be found. Just like the SL2. This wasn't a big deal compared to Nikon's first autofocus attempts with their hybrid phase detection system on the 45 megapixel Z7 and the lower resolution Z6, but both Sony and Canon, in virtually every situation, simply smoked it. 4. Some people thought, with some justification I think it's fair to say, that the S1R was too big and too heavy. The flip side, however, is that some people with bigger hands love it. I do. This sits even better in the hand than the G9 or the GH5. The GH5, of course, being the camera that we put down our own hard cash for. This feels as comfortable as the Canon 1D, which I still have, the original 4 megapixel, much lighter, vastly more capable, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this can do. 5. It was priced above Canon's EOS R, Nikon's Z7, and Sony's 60 megapixel A7R4. 6. At launch, the L-mount alliance had neither the breadth nor depth of Sony's lens ecosystem. 7. While the L-mount alliance has narrowed that gap, the L-mount lens ecosystem still does not match the breadth and depth of Sony's, and now, 5 years on, doesn't match Canon's or Nikon's either, especially at the long end. The industry has not stood still. Leica's extraordinary, best in the business but extraordinarily expensive Apo Summicron SL lenses, Panasonic's surprisingly good and more accessibly priced S-line lenses, arguably the best bang for the buck among the major manufacturers for video, and Sigma's wonderful and keenly priced DGDN I-Series primes, uber-performant Art Series primes and zooms, and their sports line of super telephoto zooms, notwithstanding. With all of this said, it's worth mentioning that the difference between DP Review's rating of the S1R and A7R4 was only 2 points, and none of this prevented me from capturing images like this. I'll wrap it up this way. If you don't need the breadth and depth of the Sony, Canon, or Nikon lens ecosystems, I'd actually argue that the L-mount Alliance lens catalog is superior to Canon's for performance and value in the sweet spot of 18 to 90 millimeter primes, best in the business for ultimate performance in that range at f2. If you don't need 10/10ths autofocus performance for wildlife, sports, squirmy children, spinning models, low light or low contrast scenes, if you don't mind a full-figured body, but do need an outstanding high-resolution full-frame sensor, want what I regard as the most ergonomically sound and complete full-frame mirrorless body in the industry, want excellent IBIS, want a high-resolution 5.7 million EVF, although in my experience, every 5.7 million EVF I've ever used across brands does have a continuous autofocus quirk in that the resolution drops while using a half press to hold focus. Want access to the highest image quality primes in the industry from Leica, at least up to 90 millimeters, or want access to superb and more accessibly priced primes and zooms from Sigma and Panasonic, like Sigma's Il Monstro 14mm f1.4, or 85mm f1.8s, all the way up to Sigma's 150 to 600 to f5 to 6.3 sports lens. You get the idea. Oh, or you want a top panel LCD that the excellent Panasonic Lumix S5 series doesn't have, then I'd say nothing touches a used like new minus S1R for $1,750 when it comes to bang for the buck and satisfaction in hand. Of course, reasonable people can disagree. As always, your mileage may vary. and that's fine. A big shout out to KEH for sponsoring this video, a great resource for finding just this kind of gear. Check them out using the special links and 5% discount or bonus code in the video description below. Thank you, KEH. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join the conversation in the comment section below because this is an exceptional audience. If you'd like help with a portfolio review, gear selection, finding or honing your artistic voice, sign up for a one-on-one mentoring video call via Zoom at 3bmep.com/booking. Finally, please consider supporting our work by using the no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, sending us coffee money via PayPal, or most especially, joining us on Patreon, links down below as well. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for